Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the Movement Center and welcome to the squat series where we systematically break down the shoulders, the mid-back, the hips, and the ankles so that you can squat and move like you mean it. Hey, what's up guys? This is Mitch back from the Movement Center with episode 4, part 1 of the squat series, and we're going to be focusing on the hips today. So we've kind of talked about the shoulders, we've gotten into the upper back, now we're down to the hips. Now we've broken up the hips into two categories for the reason that we want to work on hip rotation and hip flexion. So this one's going to be that hip flexion position, okay? Now, what we want to look at with this is a lot of people complain about having a butt wink or the lower back rounding or the upper back falling forwards, okay? Common faults that we see. As an example, Alex actually has a great butt wink. So everyone watch her butt wink at you. It's right, gonna be good. So she comes down, good. That's actually pretty, keep going. And you can see right there, it rolls over. So come back up, good. Come down one more time. So she does great, awesome. Right there, I don't know if you guys can see that. It goes wink and goes over down like that, right? And so come back up. So that can come from a couple different things. All right, a butt wink, a lot of people talk about in two main reasons why that might happen. Number one being actual anatomy. So if your hip anatomy is limited to a certain point, you're not going to go lower than that level because that's just where your hip range runs out. The other reason it can be is because your actual hip flexion range is just limited by soft tissue, joint mobility, sort of neural capacity, and that's something that we can then work on, right? So let's say in this case we can work on this and we can improve it. So again, the faults we might see if we come down is something that might go like this and around like that. Upper back might come down like this. If that's something you guys are doing, something you want to work on, okay? And the test for this to see how good your hip flexion is, and I'll just demonstrate this quickly, is you're going to go on all fours like this, arms down like that, right? So you're activated, my hips and my pelvis is neutral, and you're going to rock your butt back to the point where you feel that your low back starts to round. So you're here, and you rock your butt back right there, and for me, right about there is where I start to get a little bit of rounding. So you go here, and I'm going to fake this. So if I come down and I start to round right there, that's the end of my hip range, and if I want to do a further depth than this in my squat, well, I better work on something, right? So again, if I'm here and I roll back, that starts to round, I better start working on something, okay? So that's your test. Check that out. If you're getting that butt wink or those hips not getting where you want them to, then it's time to move a little bit better and work on some of these things. So first thing we're going to do is take care of some soft tissue restrictions in that posterior chain, all right? So we're going to come over here to our fancy bench. I also grab her ball, I can grab my ball. My ball is big, hers is small, which is okay because it's going to hurt me a little more. So you're going to take that and sneak it in the back of your leg. So this is going to go anywhere in the back of your hamstring from the bottom of your knee to the kind of base of your butt bone, your sit bone, okay? You're going to take that and pop that into the bottom of the knee, good, and then you're going to get some pressure on top of that. Awesome. We're going to keep your back straight with this. If you fold through your lower back, you're giving up some tension in your muscles, so keep up tall. Pressure down through your hands, and then you're going to straighten your knee. Come back up and straighten your knee. Awesome. You're going to work that. How's that feel? Wonderful, right? So you should feel a little bit sore as you guys do this, as you're coming up. And then once you do that for a couple pumps, let's say 30 seconds, 20 seconds, you start to lose that tension. You're going to move it to the next spot on your leg. So you move back up, press down, and you lift up again. All right? And you get clicks in your knees. That's always a good sign. And you come back up. Good. And again, you want to put some good pressure on that you feel some good compression happening, right? So, all right, if we think about this, we've loosened up the soft tissues in the posterior chain, so behind here. Next thing we want to do is drive that hip up into more flexion. So I call this the Captain Morgan. We're going to sneak around the back here. And then what we're going to do is take that leg we just worked on and pop it up in front in that cool kind of Captain Morgan pose, right? And then what we're going to do is keeping our low back flat, which is important for this because we don't want to go into that butt wink, right? We're going to drop from our other leg down into flexion. So we're taking this hip up, and I'll show you guys from the side, and we're driving it up into a more flexed position. So now we're up here like this. So if we have Alex do this, and she drops down, she's keeping her low back flat, and she's driving. She has tons of hip range on that side when she comes up, which is good. So she has great hip range. So she might be getting that butt wink for a different reason. So we've done that. You've held that stretch for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. You've opened up that hip. Your soft tissues are opened up. Next thing we do is activate that position. So if we get Alex here on her back, we're going to activate this posterior chain. So these are called scissors. So she's back, she's comfortable on this really hard bench. She's going to push down, so she's going to activate her glutes and posterior chain on this side. She's going to push down through this leg, This leg she's going to lift up as high as she can, so she feels a bit of a stretch, so right about there. And she's going to hold that for a beat, and then she's going to switch. So now she brings that down, she pushes this down, lifts this up, and holds. It's awesome, right? Good. And she comes back down. Good. Pushes down, lifts up. And you alternate back and forth, 10 per side, okay? Thank you. Great. So again, we've done our 3 exercises today. We've worked through that back side of the soft tissues. Then we've come up here, driving through that hip flexion position, and finished up by activating that posterior chain through our scissors. So that's how you guys can take care of that hip flexion restriction or issues with the butt wink, okay, and that sort of folding or rounding of the lower back. If you guys have questions, please comment below. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe, and most of all, and most importantly, move like you mean it. Thanks a lot, guys.